welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome sis. My name is Yap, and today I'm here with a super easy lightweight sweat-proof vacation glam. Now I'm in Jamaica right now. I took myself on a solo trip for my 22nd birthday, and I decided to record this because every time I have clients that are going on vacation, they always tell me that, girl, I wish I could take you in my suitcase so I could be looking like a bad girl on the islands. And I'm like, girl, you definitely can. I just need to drop the tutorial. So here it is, and I hope you guys really enjoy this video. Like I said, it's gonna be mad simple, true, you know what I'm saying, easy for you to do and all that good stuff. So before we hop into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that when I post, you will know. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, all that good stuff. It'll be down in the description box below somewhere. And yeah, we're gonna hop into it, period. So just to save us some time, I did my brows off camera, but an in-depth tutorial on how I do my brows will be linked down below. But I'm starting off with some eyeshadow. So I'm using an eyeshadow base. This is a waterproof eyeshadow base from Myrick's. All the products along with the brushes I use will be on the screen in the bottom left-hand corner. But I tapped a little bit of that base on because a little bit goes a long way. And now I'm using a fluffy brush from Morphe to blend that out, just using tapping motions. Now, if you do not have that base, you can use whatever darker concealer that you have. I'm really just going for that like chocolatey, smoky brown eye. And I like to use a base because it makes the eyeshadow pop later. And now I'm just setting underneath my brows with some translucent powder because the concealer didn't dry down enough for my liking. And now we are going to hop into the Juvias Place Warrior 2 palette and use that dark brown eyeshadow and plop that right on top of the base that we just used. We're going for that like bronzy, chocolatey, smoky look. So yeah, as I blend the eyeshadow, I'm just slowly working it up towards my brow bone. And now I'm going to hop into my e.l.f. powder foundation. You could use a dark brown eyeshadow if you want to, but this is just what I had on me. And I literally just added the slightest bit to my crease just to deepen it up a little bit. This eyeshadow look is so easy to do. So I just plop that on. And now I'm putting some highlighter on my brow bone just to make it pop. And now I'm doing a wing liner. Now, if you guys want a tutorial on this, let me know. But just a quick little tutorial. For now, what I do is I like to rest my hand on my face as I do it so I could keep that nice steady hand. And then I just like to draw a line on the top, draw a line at the outer edge of my eye, and then connect the two and then fill it in. So I basically make an outline of the wing and then fill it in after. Now, a wing is not necessarily necessary for this look, but if you're new to the channel, I am very extra, so I just had to add a wing because why not? But you don't have to add a wing. The look will be just as poppin' as if you just plopped your lashes on right on top. So if you don't want a wing, you could just skip this part, but if you do like wings, then stay right here. Now it's time to add some poppin' lashes. So take your favorite pair of lashes and plop that right on top of that wing liner. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box to these specific lashes, and I also have a really in-depth tutorial on my channel. It's a bit old, but it's still really good. So if you guys want that, check the description box below. I'm just gonna put on some mascara to blend my real lashes with the fake ones. And now it's time to move on to the face. You see how quick, fast, and easy that eyeshadow look was? Anybody could do it, period. So now I'm moisturizing my face because no matter your skin type, you should definitely moisturize. That's very important. You want your skin to be nice and plump before you put on your makeup. It's like, I don't know if oiling a canvas is a good analogy, but you know, you just prepping, feel me? So this part is for my girls who sweat a lot or who have really oily skin. So I'm both of those girls. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some mattifying primer and I'm gonna put this in the places that I sweat the fastest or sweat the most or get really oily. So that's basically my T-zone. So if you do not sweat or get oily in these areas, you could skip it or just apply the mattifying primer in the places that you do sweat a lot. This is a very important step. You do not want to miss this step. So then after you apply that mattifying primer, you want to take whatever setting powder that you love. I recommend the RCMA no color powder, and press that into those places that you put the primer. This is kind of like baking. We're baking without the concealer underneath, and we're gonna leave that there. We're gonna let that cook and marinate, and this is very crucial. You must let it sit there because it will soak up all the oils and it will help to keep your makeup on all day. So then in the remaining areas of your face, you're gonna put the Milk Hydro Grip Primer or whatever primer you like that increases longevity wear of the makeup, and to me that's the Milk Hydro Grip, and I'm gonna put that in the other areas of my face that's not necessarily oily or dry, it's just regular, just so that the makeup can last all day. We want longevity. Longevity is key. So now it's time for complexion. So I'm going to take a mixture of the Kevyn Aucoin Skin Enhancer and the LA Pro Girl Concealer to get my perfect shade, and I'm just going to basically spot conceal because I'm going for like a natural, flawless, even tone as my base, and I really don't need foundation for this part because once you put concealer in those places that are like quote unquote imperfect, it'll just smooth out your whole face. It'll even out your face is what I mean. So I just put that there, and then I'm going to wipe off that powder we put in the mattifying primer areas. Now we wipe it off. Do not let it sit there for the whole makeup application. You wipe it off and then go right back in with that concealer and continue to conceal the quote unquote problem areas on your face. It's crucial that you wipe off that powder because that was just to soak up the oils on your face. So don't leave it there. Make sure to wipe it off after you apply the concealer. And now I'm going to blend that out with this Real Techniques. I think it's like a brightening concealer brush, but I put it on the screen so you guys know what I use. And I'm just going to pat that in. Now you could use any small but kind of like dense and fluffy brush that you have, but I definitely recommend this one. You can even use your foundation brush if you want. I love to use the Real Techniques Instapop cheek brush. If you want to use a beauty blender, you can, but I'm really going for the full coverage but lightweight feel, so I definitely recommend using a brush so that it just spreads it out beautifully and nice and even. So I'm just tapping that in and blending that in as well, and this is going to be a really super light, very lightweight makeup application. Now I'm using concealer instead of foundation because I just feel like concealer is a bit more full coverage than foundation in my opinion, and I use cream concealer products. The LA Pro Girl is a little liquid, but it's also a little thick, so I just love to use cream concealers when doing this because it's lightweight but it's very full coverage. I find that a lot of foundations, it's hard to find like a really full coverage foundation that's not heavy, so that's why I recommend using concealer and only putting it in the places that maybe you have like a scar or hyperpigmentation, and just putting a nice light layer. I applied it with a concealer brush and used tapping motions once again to get a nice full coverage spread but a light filling application. Alright, so boom, we got our base down packed. Now we are going to highlight and contour. So notice that I didn't put concealer underneath my eyes when I was spot concealing because I am going to highlight right now, and this concealer is really full coverage in my opinion, so I didn't need to put it there. So I just wanted to mention that. But yes, just highlight in the places that you typically like to, and the highlighted areas on your face, if you don't know, is the places where the light hits your face. So if you want, just stand in front of a mirror with light and just see where the light hits your face, or put the flash on, and that's how you know where to highlight. So yes, I'm going to put concealer in these areas, and this concealer is about 3 shades lighter than me, but I like that extra like pop underneath the eye, so I'm gonna go in with the Kevyn Aucoin Skin Enhancer and just apply a little bit of that. It's very full coverage, so it may look like a lot, but it's actually a very little amount, and I'm gonna apply that just underneath my eye and a little bit on top of like my nose and my forehead. And I'm gonna go in with an even lighter one too, because like I said, I wanted that extra pop. But you don't have to do this step. You could go in with your initial first color and then keep it pushing, but me, I like that poppity pop, so I did that. And we're gonna let that sit before we blend it out, because if you let it get tacky, it'll blend out better and it'll look more full coverage. And now we're gonna go into contouring. So I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Truffle. And I'm just gonna apply the slightest amount. You guys notice how I'm applying very little amounts of product, but a little bit goes a long way. So I put that in the places I kind of wanted to like chisel down and give that nice bronze to, because this concealer has a very like chocolatey warmth color to it. So I use that same brush that we used to blend out the spot concealer as our base. That's the Real Techniques brightening concealer brush, and I'm using that to blend out the contour. So now it's time to blend out the highlight, and I am using a handy dandy beauty blender. This is the original beauty blender. That is my favorite one. You guys comment down below which brand sells your favorite type of beauty sponge, but to me there's no better one than the original one, okay, period. But yes, I'm just using patting motions and I'm blending in that concealer that we put in the highlighted areas, making sure to slightly blend it into the contoured areas so that they mesh together and you can't really tell where one starts and the other one stops, and etc. So yeah, I'm just blending that in, and I'm adding a little bit more product on my upper lip because I felt like I took a little bit too much off with that beauty blender. So after I blend that out with the beauty blender, I'm gonna go back in with that brush we used to spot conceal and to blend out the contour, and just go over the outer edges of the highlighted areas to make sure that everything is blended and it looks like one. And now I'm going to set the highlighted areas. So I'm using the SACHA Buttercup setting powder on my Morphe E28 brush, and I'm going in with this little brush first just to set the places that crease the fastest. You know, it's really small and detailed, so it really gets in those areas. And now I'm going to take a makeup sponge. This is a latex free makeup sponge. That's my favorite type of makeup sponge, and I'm going to set the highlighted areas on my face. I like for my contour to be super sharp, so I'm going to take this Laura Mercier translucent powder in medium deep. It's a bit darker than the SACHA Buttercup powder because I didn't want that part to be too light. I just wanted to like reverse highlight so I can make my contour really sharp. And I'm also gonna let that bake because I have oily skin, so I just like for the powder to bake. I think it gives a way better effect, but you don't have to let it bake. You could just let it after you set it, you could wipe it off. And while that bakes, I'm going to set the remaining areas of my face using the RCMA no color powder. This is my favorite translucent powder to use because it does not give the ashy flashback look. We hate that. So now I am dusting away the setting powder that we put. That's the SACHA Buttercup setting powder. I'm wiping away that powder in the highlighted areas on my face, and then I'm gonna go in with a powder foundation. This is from e.l.f. and I'm gonna put that right on top of those highlighted areas because I noticed that when I use powder foundation on top of the highlighted areas, it just makes it look so smooth. And this one in particular from e.l.f. is very smooth. So I just take a very little bit of that and I use that to further wipe away that setting powder and just add that smooth effect underneath my eyes. So that same eyeshadow that we used on our eyes from the Juvias Place Warrior 2 palette is the same color that I'm going to put on top of the places that I contour just to make it pop more and stand out a little more. And then I'm going to wipe away that powder underneath our cheekbones from Laura Mercier that we put to sharpen it up. And as I wipe it away, you will see that it just added that nice sharp line. But as I wipe it away, I'm also like tapping it in and blending it in because you don't want it to be too bold, you know. And then I'm going to add the dark brown foundation from e.l.f. that we also put on our eyes to deepen my contour just a little bit because I was really going for that like really chiseled look. So I'm just taking a little bit of that and putting that right on top as well. And then I believe I'm going to go in with some bronzer because now we want to add that warmth. We added the depth, so now we want that warmth. We want to look like we are sun-kissed in the islands, okay, period. So I just took a little bit of that, and that's from Morphe. That's the Glamabronze in Supreme. Putting that right on top of the places that we contoured. So now we are contouring the nose because we want to look extra snatched and chiseled on the eyelid. So once again, I'm taking that same dark brown eyeshadow from the Juvias Warrior 2 palette that we used to contour with and on our eyes, and I'm using it on a small brush. This is the Morphe M506 brush, and I'm also going to use that foundation, the dark brown one again that we use for the eyes and the face, and I'm going to contour slightly, and then I'm going to blend that out with a fluffy brush just to make sure that it's not too harsh. Really simple, really quick and easy. It did not take long at all. And then I'm going to sharpen up the sides of that the same way how we sharpened up underneath our cheeks. I'm going to put the SACHA buttercup setting powder because that's the one I put underneath my eyes. And I'm going to put that on the sides of my nose and let that sit for a little bit just so that when I wipe it off, it will sharpen up the contour on my nose. So while that nose contour sits, I'm going to add blush and highlight. Once again, dipping into that Juvias Warrior 2 palette. This palette is so versatile. You can use it to contour, for your eyes, for blush. That's why I brought it on my trip. Highly recommend it because it's very versatile. So I'm taking those three colors, the red, orange, and pink, and I'm just adding that to the temples of my face and to my nose. Fun fact, when you add blush to your temples, it gives you like that facelift look. And now I'm going to take some highlight and put that right on my upper lip. What's that? My Cupid's bow. And the bridge of my nose and the tip of my nose, and also on my cheeks. So I'm also going to put that gold highlight in my inner corners because it's a small detail, but it makes a big difference. Just for that nice pop, it adds that nice glowy look. And then I'm going to put mascara on my bottom lashes. Okay, so this is like, has to be my favorite part of the look. I just love me a good lip combo. So I'm using the NYX dark brown lip liner, and I'm just going to line my lips. When I line my lips, I kind of line it right outside of the natural line of my lips. I'm not overlining. I don't know what to call it, honestly, but I'm just lining my lips because I like that plump look. So I guess I am overlining, but just the slightest. Like, it's right behind my natural lip line, and I'm just making that line a little bit thick so that when I put on the lipstick right about now, it blends in later. So I actually do a lot of mixing, as you guys can see, and I'm taking a liquid lipstick from Lip Talk Cosmetics and that P. Louise Acid Rain blank canvas paint to give me this like the perfect nude. But of course, if you have a liquid lip that's already nude, you don't got to do this part. And I'm just gonna, you know, plump my lips together, rub that in. And then I'm going to take a nude eyeshadow and put that right on top, just so that it, you know, pops even more. I like my nude lips to really be like nude. Like, I like it to be very bright in the middle. So that's why I added the eyeshadow in the middle. And then I'm gonna take this bomb Bath and Body Works bubbly rose lip gloss. Y'all, this lip gloss is so fire. First of all, it tastes amazing. I know you're not supposed to eat lip gloss, but it tastes fire. And it smells good, and it just looks good. And then I'm gonna take clear lip gloss and outline my lips with that to like make the brown lip liner pop. Okay, so just for the finishing touches, I'm going to wipe away that powder that we put on the side of our nose to sharpen up our nose contour. And now to set the face, we're going to take the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, very crucial, and spray that into a beauty blender that has a flat base to it. And then we're going to pounce that in our skin because we just put on several layers of makeup, so we want to set all those layers. And then we're going to take a dewy setting spray, give it one final spritz to give our skin that really skin-like finish. And this is the completed look. Okay, so that concludes the end of this video. Like I said, y'all, that was mad simple, cute, easy to do. You're gonna be looking gunfire on the islands or wherever you go, and I hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.